Episode 24 of A Dose of Sinsanity is underway. I am GR3. I am joined by Welshie and Jamokin and special guest this week, Naya of Alara. What's going on, buddy? How you doing?
Oh, I'm just doing fantastic, my bros. How you guys doing?
Much better until that.
Until that, are you kidding me? I've been listening every week to your podcast, and this is how you treat me, huh? Invite me on just to slap me across the face with that comment, bro.
Loyal listener.
That is, you have been listening to us every week on that box truck, dude. I think one of our very few viewers every single week that we have. But hey, who cares if we have any viewers or not? It's
also shout out admins.
Yes,
Shout out admins.
Shout out
There we go.
admins.
There we go.
They are our biggest fans. So for some reason, who the fuck knows why? But let's kind of hop into it. So, True Sight, did you guys watch it?
I watched most of it. My ADD kicked in at about 30 minutes into it.
Oh, so you watched a third of it?
Watched a
'cause it
third
was
of
an
it.
hour and a half.
I got to the most replayed part, and I talked to Yatsuo Tokyo talking. Yatsuo talking, and that was just done. Yatsuo Tokyo, Toronto Tokyo.
All the remasters on the day they came out, and then I watched True Sight.
So you're on the grind.
On the True Sight grind, yeah.
Yeah.
My question is like, how did you guys watch it? Because I was noticing that it's on YouTube too as well. So even if you don't have the Battle Pass, you can watch it on that.
Dude, I
think I watched
completely
it.
forgot that Dota 2 had an official YouTube channel, if I'm completely honest.
Dude, no, there's some killer content. There's some killer content on there.
I have to go back and rewatch it.
There's also some really sad content. You watch that Shiver document? That's a sad piece of content.
I haven't seen that.
There's a
I,
Shiva doc.
I recently watched The Road to TI from, what's his dick? I can't even think of his freaking name. Mid laner OG. Good lord. Copson. That was pretty good. I enjoyed that one. But, so I liked it. It was a little bit different. In a sense, I don't know if it was just the fact of just watching it and then not having all the crowd and the fans and just seeing empty stadium so often.
I think it was also we didn't have any English teams as well.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think that definitely played a role in it.
You did kind of have to read the entire
Yeah.
thing, right? But
Reading's hard for Greco, everybody.
It is hard. Words are hard. Just recently learned to read at a 3rd grade level.
Correct.
And it's also not like everybody's being calm and talking, taking their sometimes people are just yelling a million things and you're just trying to fucking figure out who's saying what and what's happening.
I was distracted by watching Mapushka sit in his chair sideways as he's playing Dota. Like, bro, who does that?
Dude, freaking people who play with their knee up,
Dude, I don't know how people play with their leg. No,
these fucking animals. Dude,
Dude,
you
those are-
know.
That's
Almost
what.
as bad as those people that use WASD as their move
fuck
map
you.
keys.
fuck you.
Fuck you.
Fools.
No.
Fools,
No,
all of them.
Legends, stay
You-
down there, legends.
you-
Okay,
you
Legend
are
scum,
freaking
Naya, that's
outnumbered
correct.
here. You're outnumbered here. Me and Jamokin both AWSD this shit.
He ain't outnumbered. I'm right here, dude.
There's
No,
You
two
don't
on
count.
two.
You're
one
not
cares
even. You're not
about
even a
you.
person.
I'm
You're not
looking
even a
at-
person, Walshy.
Oh.
Not even a human. I appreciate that.
Can confirm.
You're right. I'm Welsh, bitch. It's a dragon.
So the other there's a couple quotes that I just really enjoyed for this True Sight. The first bit was it was Spirit just sitting around the table. They're like, damn, I'm not gonna be able to watch the grand finals this year. That sucks.
I mean, that is a true thing, honestly, because just because you get the casters there and the personalities, and you're just like, let's watch this out, yeah. And then no, you're stuck in a booth, just
Yeah, I mean it's
thinking about your
fun.
strategies, like what are we doing?
But that and then talking about Ame and saying, oh, that's too bad. He's gonna get second again.
Dude, that's such a feels bad. It's like when Weehaw lost when he was with Kuro's team Liquid. When they lost to when seeing those guys lose time and time again, and the cameras are on them and they're really leaning into that person. It's just oh.
Well, it's like you're the one being attacked. Like you're the fresh meat on this freaking like the whole documentary.
Yeah.
It's wonderful.
Question is who is the guy in, I think it was like the TI5 where they had the camera zoomed in on like one of the Chinese players as the fireworks are going around him and all that.
As they lost Ti, he was just sitting there with the dead. It's been a meme. It's a meme that exceeds even past. It's even past the Dota community. I've seen that in other places, and I'm just like, people have no idea what this means, but it's hilarious that it translates.
Do you know who the player is though? That's my question.
Oh God, now I have to remember it.
Gosh, it's like imagine having to feel like that. You know, you're just like you're thinking that you're doing the best you can, and you lose it all, and all the fireworks still go around you. But
that's gotta be. That's the true like.
By God.
Talk about okay, you die in lane, like you TP back, you die immediately, you have your walk of shame. That's the true walk of shame is losing TI with like freaking confetti flying down, fireworks going out all over the place. People are screaming, and you just lost.
That was FY, by the way, Naya. Sorry about that.
That's the truest walk of shame.
It's the worst. I mean, well, the thing is as well is just, oh no, I'm slightly less of a millionaire now. Oh,
I made 900,000 instead of like
1.2 million. Oh.
It still sucks though, right? Like,
I mean, yeah.
Yeah, being as competitive as I am, like at that point, it ain't about the money.
Oh no, like that I agree with. Like, don't get me wrong, the money is an afterthought in some ways for the people who get to that stage, right? Like, you're happy as hell, but you want the title. You want to be the top.
I just keep waiting for the one day that somebody loses their fucking minds in a booth and just starts throwing shit all over the place. Like, fuck it, I still won 900,000 or some shit. Like, I'm gonna fuck this booth up. I just lost.
Yeah, someone just fucking getting lit with the boys.
Keyboard smashing on the.
I mean, that's what I was talking about. I'm like, dude,
they're celebrating harder than the guys that won.
That's what I mean. Like, okay, if we win, we're celebrating in this booth. If we lose, we're celebrating harder than them in this booth. Understand that?
Yes.
I bet you they have like contracts or something like that to protect the booths just for that reason, you know.
Possibly, but then I think about the fact that like,
it's their equipment. Like,
some of it.
Bring it in. Like, well, yeah, some of it. But like, if you're smashing the keyboard, it's your keyboard that you're fucking up.
But then I think about like,
it's not theirs.
But then I think about like Bulldog, like Emerald Bulldog in the booth with the Lions when they won, dude. And they actually did trash the booth, and I thought that was great.
But that's Alliance, though, bro.
Fair.
If you talk about booth and like shit that happens at the booth, the most iconic is Dindy fucking hitting the window.
Oh yeah.
Fucking just they win a team fight, start banging the window that's connected to the other team. Like, could you imagine like just being pissed off like you just lost a fight?
I'd come over there, dude. I'd be in your booth. I shit you. I'd be scrap. It would be hockey in there, dude. I'm telling you.
Fucking locker boxing in the booth.
Oh,
dude.
See, that not losing your mind is what I don't get. Like, what always amazed me was who was it that won? Who had the neck pillow on walking out to get the Aegis?
Oh, Sumail.
Sumail when it was OG, right?
Yeah, no,
like,
EG.
It was EG. When EG won, I was just like, you guys are like look depressed. Like, how are you not literally screaming your heads off right now?
Because that TI was so long, dude.
Not to mention, like,
it was in the middle of the fucking night when they finished.
Oh, I don't care, dude. I'm losing my mind.
Was it really that late?
It was pretty fucking late. I think it was like 2 a.m., 3 a.m.
Dude, I'm losing my mind.
Probably fucking tired.
That's especially when I lose my mind.
And he's got a neck pillow on. Like, the dude was probably napping halfway through the fuck. Like, there was a game where he got steamrolled as Storm Spirit in lane, and then came back and like dumpstered.
I promise you.
Dude was probably sleeping during the lane, and then somebody splashed water on his face like during the mid game. He said, "Oh fuck, I better win this game."
Brother, if the long shot, if I ever won TI, I promise you, I'm grabbing the mic like I'm Macho Man Randy Savage, and I'm calling out every region that's not NA. I promise you, No Tail is getting the dick on stage from me and my words.
Going back to the true site, there's news that I heard today. Right before this.
What is it? Tell me the news.
That they're not going to be doing True
Shut up
next season.
What?
Yeah.
Why?
I have no fucking clue.
Who's your source? Tell me. How do you know this?
Monkey Business Podcast.
Son of a bitch!
I know you don't like me bringing it up, but I love their podcast. Yeah, they're talking about that shit. I was like, what the fuck? Like, can you imagine not having True Sight?
Yeah, totally.
It sounds like every other decision they're
It's
making,
my
man.
favorite part.
It is. It's like
What?
It's one of the best parts.
What motivates you more to play Dota than watching True Sight?
Dire Tide.
Not a chance. Not a chance.
Yay, Dire Tide.
Speaking of which,
Collect candy.
God, get candy.
yeah. Speaking of which, did you guys hear about Alliance? By the way, I know we mentioned them a minute ago.
What happened this time?
They dumped their whole roster.
Ah, fuck them.
No.
Yeah, bro, they didn't qualify for TI. They got beat by Team Bald, and they just said, all right, you all got beat by Team Bald with Gork on it. All right, you guys ain't going nowhere. Get out of this team.
Think about this, though. Like, your whole point is you have to qualify. Like, you're supposed to be, like, a tier 1, like, a tier 1 team, right? And you don't qualify for TI, something's fucked. Like, dump the roster. You know what I mean? Like, rebuild. Like, grab, like, there's teams all the time that fall out of their organizations. Just pick up, like, a full team that did well.
Yeah, and then there's Enigma Galaxy.
Yeah, there's...
They're their own org, though.
They've, eventually you gotta toss in towel, right? Like, just retire. Like, you're embarrassing yourself.
Let's not go back on the changing of the guard. We talked about that already last week. Was it last week or the week before?
True Sight.
Yeah. There's where the True Sights are
Sight's the
coming.
best.
I want to talk about the changing of the guard.
Yeah, we already talked about that. Like,
We did. Talking about on True
Not
Sight.
going
They should do
back to
that.
it. Speaking of changing of the tide, though, we are talking about this, actually.
Changing the tide.
Welshie, you have
What's up?
not been in AD2L this season for the first time in 7 seasons.
I've not. I'm fucking loving it, dude.
You love it.
I love it, man.
You don't miss landing with me?
I miss landing with you. I don't miss like a lot of the parts of Dota. God, everybody needs a break from this game every now and then, man. And mine just from playing for so long and trying so hard to get better at other heroes besides Brewmaster and failing. Just enough. I needed a break from Brewmaster.
Okay, now.
When I said to myself that I needed a break from Brewmaster, I realized that it meant I need a break from Dota.
See, Welshie, you're looking at it backwards.
Hmm.
You gotta lean into it more. I mean, really lean into Dota.
Eyeball on the screen. Touching the
Like,
screen.
not this soft talking lean. I mean, like, you fucking lean in.
I find it hilarious that your solution. It's
Gotta
like,
get angry. You gotta get mad.
you're not enjoying Dota anymore. Play it more.
Yes.
Even more than that, it's like the opioid thing. It's like, oh, he's not doing well on them. Give him more opioids. Like, dude. No, like this game. I need a break from this game. I need to play other games. Which, by the way, I'm realizing.
So then, Dark and Darker,
Oh my
which
god.
is
we're not-
destined to be the future of our podcast.
which I'm literally zeted for because it's currently they shut down the alpha, and I'm literally like a dude off crack trying to find where to find more content for that game. That game is addicting as hell. It's so good.
But wait,
So,
are there actually games that get into alpha, or I thought everything was on beta?
You'd think no. This game is the game we played. Naya is pre-alpha, and
if you
it's
listen to the last podcast,
and it's so good that it's like I would buy it at pre-alpha. This is a game that I'm like it's good enough for me to buy it pre-alpha. We'll talk about that after the thing, but
I do want to go back in. I'm just curious. I've seen you on League of Legends.
yeah, I'm a turncoated son of a
Quite
bitch.
often.
I'm a turncoated son of a bitch. I'll fully admit to that.
So are you going to start playing League of Legends like leagues or what?
No, I think it's research. In full honesty, I'll tell you this right now. I'm telling you as a person who's done a good amount of research into League now. League is so much easier than Dota. It's not even funny. Like, this is the reason that League is more popular. It's because it's an easier game. The concepts are just so much easier. Dude, like, understand this is the thing that got me. There's no creep aggro in League. There's none.
No.
You can just walk up and hit people over the creep wave and nothing matters. And I think it's the nutsest thing.
Can't be denied the creeps.
There's no nuances to laning at all. It's just a slugfest and you occasionally hit creeps. Which is fun, but there's no complexity.
That's position 4, man. Just fucking
there
hit
is
the
no
carry,
position
hit the
4.
support.
You're
I
in the
don't know,
jungle.
there's jungle, yeah, which is the most bullshit role ever.
Welcome to why I love Dota, dude. Why I love League, dude. It's because it has a jungler role and it never got rid of it. For anybody who doesn't know, I was a jungler when it was fucking a thing in Dota, and then they killed it.
Good.
Well, I still jungle.
How dare they kill jungle, dude?
Is there any
Marana?
chance
Crystal
that
Maiden?
you would? Is there any chance that you would ever come back to AD2L?
I'll be back at some point. It's just got to be right conditions. It just got to be when Brewmaster gets another 2 buffs, and I'll be back. That's my condition.
What are the conditions?
Brewmaster needs to get buffed again.
What about roster players?
I don't care about roster. I just care about Brewmaster.
He's got a point there.
Are you going to?
If you had to create a team, who would you create?
Like my perfect AD2L squad.
Your perfect AD2L squad. Ranks don't matter.
Ranks.
Dendi,
I was gonna say the pro rosters hit real quick.
Maybe ranks mattering does matter a little bit.
Let's
say
no
like
DPC
champions, conqueror, or warrior league.
If we're
Next
complete
season, you'll be like able to play.
If we're completely honest, running it way back, like my favorite season of ever playing in AD2L will always be when you were my 4. Rob Boss was our mid, and we had Austin in the 1 position. Any team that has that lineup, I don't give a shit who's the 5. I just need Rob Boss and you in my lane again. Because that was, I mean, Austin got a fucking free ticket for all of those games. Like, there was one game in the finals where he popped off where I didn't, and that was necessary. Every other one besides that was the goon squad of the 3 of us roaming the map with whatever 5 we straggled along and taking over the game.
Dude, I miss that so much. Like, I miss just 3 dudes that could literally not give a fuck about farm. And the only thing on your minds is kill heroes, kill towers.
Kill,
fuck,
run, go,
fuck
go.
everything else. Like, literally fuck everything else.
Which, that was my favorite part of True Sight, by the way, was seeing that, dude, the pros do not have some secret method of communication, dude. They scream the same shit you hear in your pubs every single day. Just smoke, go. And they're just yelling that shit over each other, and it's hilarious to me.
No pussy.
They're not these military, dude, they're not these military, like, very elegant comms that you think you hear from, like, pros. No, dude, it's still just, like, screaming and making dumbass mistakes. Why are you TPing? Stop TPing! It's amazing. That's what I loved about True Sight, is just realizing they're just as dumb as we are.
So, we are a couple weeks now into the meta, right? Like, I think we had
since patch
that dropped, but overall, like, your C patch, your B patch, your A patch, they're like minor balancing things. They're like they're literally like taking the hero pool, smashing it on both sides, and trying to put it all together.
Yeah, they're starting to slow down with the speed that these are coming out too.
So they just want to have the shitty heroes not be so shitty, the busted heroes not be so busted. Now, Jamokin, before the podcast started, we were talking a little bit about what is considered broken. How do you identify? To me, what I'm looking at is, like, if I go into the heroes and the trends page, I'm looking at what is the current win rate, what is the pick rate, and I'm looking for high-end pick rates, high-end win rates, and then trying to see, okay, these are the heroes that matter. But you were giving a different opinion on this. Why don't you elaborate on that?
I'm gonna be honest. We talked about this? I know we talked about this. What was my opinion? Why don't you enlighten me on my opinion?
About first phases.
I forgot my
I remember your opinion. I remember you stating very
no, I look just strictly a pick rate and things you can first phase and it truly doesn't matter.
That was the quote I remember you saying, is if you can first phase it and it truly does not matter, then that's broken.
Yeah, like that hero's just conceptually so busted that it doesn't, like, speaking more from a core perspective, obviously, but like if Morphling was so busted, I could just first pick him every game, and you could pick AA Bane, and I just don't care. Like, the hero's just cracked out, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So I think if it, like, a win condition hero, or like a hero that can basically solo win games, you can just first phase it. It doesn't matter to the lane, doesn't matter matchups, nothing like that. That hero is just busted beyond belief.
So, Naya, a bit background on you for those who don't know. You have been in AD2L for what, 5 seasons now? 6?
4?
Has it only been 4?
Yeah.
You played with Greed twice. Damage. Greed a third time, I think. And then, no, you're 5 seasons in.
No, I've only played with Greed twice.
3 times.
Twice.
I thought you're on our intermediate divine. You're on our intermediate team with Rob
Yeah.
Boss. You're on our divine team with Kiki. You're on our divine team with
You were with me, big dog. It's been 3.
Billy
5 then.
Smoocher. And then Damage, and then Pride.
So
Right.
this is my 5th season then.
Oh, and Acedia. You've been Pride, Acedia, 3. You're on your 6th season, dog.
I don't know where you're getting that extra number.
Okay, so you've been on Pot of Pride.
I love this.
With
Yeah.
Kiki and Kitty and all them. You've been on
That's
Emotional
bullshit.
Damage.
It's emotional damage.
Okay. 3 Greed seasons.
Only
And
2.
now Acedia.
Only 2 Greed seasons.
I feel like I disagree, but we're going to look that up later.
Okay.
Anyways, back to the important shit. You have been a drafter for how many seasons?
I don't know. I'm going to throw a
kinda?
number out there. You're going to correct me on it.
I'll kill you.
He's
I
been a
think it's been
drafter
at
for a number of
3
seasons.
So Emotional Damage this season on Acedia. Did you draft for
And then
Pride?
halfway, no.
Okay.
And then halfway through the Greed
Yeah.
season last season.
Halfway through the Greed. So 3 seasons and a league championship as a drafter and a captain. I'm curious what when you're looking at especially drafting, like the big thing is like what Jamokin was saying, like the 5 picks, like the busted heroes, like things like that. Do you see things as these heroes are busted, try to work these in, or like what do you consider as a strong or busted hero?
I consider things. Yeah, exactly. The gears are turning. It's like broken or busted heroes are, in my personal opinion, are heroes that your team, when it comes to like drafting or not, are heroes that your team just doesn't know how to handle. Right? Because like take it Undying for example. Like sure he's like broken, but if your team knows how to play against it though, it's not that bad because he doesn't offer a lot. He's a tank. He's just meant to win the laning stage and help your carry get ahead.
I think
yeah, you just don't kill him.
We had this conversation.
How to beat
I'm
Undying?
pretty sure.
Just don't kill him.
Because you had, I think it was your Emotional Damage season. Tiny was like this ridiculous carry at the time. Everyone was picking him, and you guys just did not give a shit.
Nope.
Because like you guys knew exactly how to beat him, the ways to deal with it, and I don't think you ever lost to that hero, did you?
We only lost to it once, and that's
against Kira.
Against Kira Begone. They were the only team that actually showed the true power of Tiny IO. Like that was so hard to deal with when they were playing it.
So there's some heroes that recently have been popping off in the pubs. We'll kind of get into a little bit, but what have you guys been seeing? You haven't even really.
I've been seeing shit, dude.
You've been seeing dark and darker in League of Legends.
You're goddamn.
I've been seeing Brood Mothers.
Really?
Actually.
Yes, in the mid lane, just because of her ability to be able to move. Successful, yeah. Just as like a lot of mid laners, I don't really know how to describe because I'm not a mid lane player. I don't even really think about the lane, and that's probably why Broodmother does so well. Is because people aren't looking. They're so used to the mid laner just being able to take care of themselves because they had the small cap. Now that's gone. Crap. You now have this greedy mid laner that's up against a Broodmother who will win the lane no matter what. It's like a Visage. Like sure you can be okay until she hits 6, and then she starts nuking you down. You're like, oh, what do I do now? I just lost my tower at 8 minutes.
Yeah, looking at the stats for it, it looks like the Broodmother only has like a 2% pick rate, but it does have a 54% win rate, which is much higher than it was in the previous patch. And I think the 2%, in full honesty, is because there's not enough people in the mid lane or in other lanes who are confident enough to pick it up.
It's a cheese pick, right? Like if you're picking it, you know how to play it. Typically, like you would hope. I mean, I feel like the ones in my bracket that pick that shit, they have no fucking.
Oh, they have no idea.
but they don't know how to play like other heroes. um, that's interesting. Like I personally, I keep seeing a ton of Shaker, in a lot of my games actually. You guys been seeing that as well?
No.
No,
Yeah.
nothing.
He's not aggressive enough up in the
No,
like
his
immortal
shard
brackets.
his shard build is fucking busted.
But he's
And I'm
such a
talking,
defensive
like,
hero, though.
I'm talking like top 400 fucking clubs. Like whenever I'm watching streams, Shaker's in like all of them.
And that's just because the team's not a play around it, and as well as like, because that's a crazy thing. Like we talk about those top 400 like games and all that. It's like you look at it and you just see it's like, how are these guys hitting these kind of item timings, and like getting all this money in farm? It's just their efficiency. They know what to do
they
and how
miss
to
nothing.
do it.
Yeah.
The biggest thing is like you're seeing Shakers move, and like in my bracket, Shakers just want to sit in the lane. They don't leave.
They sit and they soak. It's the
to
worst
me,
part.
Like there's specific position fours who they're most dangerous when they're not on the map, right? Like if you can't see them, it's terrifying. Shaker's one of those that easily rotates to the mid lane, just completely blocks off the exit and just gets pummeled, right? Can easily show up in is like one of the best like heroes to bring into your safe lane to kill with them, like to kill a spree. It's like, and yes, it is a very defensive, like typical stagnant laner. If you're gonna sit in the lane, because right, like you're gonna use your wall basically. Like when they start going on my 3, then I'm going to like wall them off and break up that combo and all that shit. Like, but that hero's terrifying when you're roaming and you're moving around the map, and I see that when I'm watching like top end pubs. They don't just sit in the lane. Like they're all over the fucking map on that Shaker.
Yeah, I think at least from like, I don't think people understand how to play Shaker anymore. Like the way he's evolved, people still look at him as this like blink echo slam.
Echo slam a jamma.
Yeah, I'm gonna hit these fat echoes, and it's like the new Shaker and like the pause 4, like he gets a shard and then he just like plays the edge of the fights, throws fishers in, tries to stun people, waits for all the BKBs to go down, and then you go in and you're looking for the echo slam and whatever. But like in the 5K, in my bracket, like people are like, oh, I'm gonna farm my blink and then I'm gonna hit these fat echo slams, and it never works because you're waiting forever for this guy to get blink, and he's bad. And everyone
and the other team knows that as long as we don't play around the big echo slams, then we're okay.
Exactly.
So is it like I haven't seen the build. Is it like Aether Shard?
Shard first. They're like
Shard then Aether?
Shard. Yeah.
Shard then whatever else you need, really.
I would imagine it'd be Aetherlands, right? Like
But besides him, in my pubs, I'm seeing a lot of Enigmas, the silencer buffs. Everybody's been trying.
Oh god, silencer. That hero's really fucking.
This is what I love about the meta, dude. Is the fact that there can be a hero that is literally in the dumpster, has not been played for seasons, has not been played almost at all, is considered unviable.
Picked.
Yeah.
Was not picked in the regional quals.
Was not picked in regional quals, and then is now the top of the meta in some ways. And I just think
it's the number 1 support behind Chen. That's technically the number two support.
It changes
win rate wise in Divine. Naya, you're a big silencer player, aren't you?
I've been playing it a lot recently. Yes.
What do you feel?
First pick broken?
No.
Ooh.
Not first pick broken. There's too many things that can easily counter it, because the big thing about silencer that makes them dangerous support is if the other team has big team fight ults or abilities, and because he's a counter initiator basically. Your initiator jumps in, stuns everybody to set up the big ult. You just pop your ult now, and voila. Your team's fight's now being ruined for the next 5 to 6 seconds, however long that ultimate is, and now you got to deal with the enemy team's team fight. But his biggest weakness is the laning stage. He does not provide a lot of damage until like level 5.
He is a pretty weak laner, isn't he?
Especially with a lot of like aggressive fours too that are being played right
Yes.
now. Like if it's playing at 5, it's kind of just like just food for a lot of them.
Silencer's primarily a 5 right now.
And has been
Yeah.
pretty dumpstered like by this Drow that's been coming out of the woodworks. Like is Drow back?
Yeah, Drow's creeping back for sure.
Hero feels strong. I mean, like you think about like the heroes that like are really strong right now, and one of which being like the DP, the silencers are coming in. Like
Other than Slark, I mean, she's
still decent into Slark. Like she's decent into Slark. It's not like
Slark build. I don't know.
You're talking about the diffuser into the Ags. Yeah, like
Echo or diffusal, into the scepter.
It's still like yes, there's there's ways you can get on top of them twice, but the frost arrow is still hitting. Like it's just like the ways you deal with the Slark typically is
but she can't.
You want things that deal like into the ult and things like that.
She can't escape and she can't chase him down. So like in theory, Slark just shouldn't die to her.
Right. It just feels good. Omni-Knights have been good for a bit. Undying.
Omni-Knight's really good to counter the silencer too as well.
Yeah, see, there's something that I've been wondering for a minute. Is like the silencer. Sorry, as Omni-Knight's like what was it? Stats was like I think it was like a 9% pick rate, but it has like a 55% win rate.
Yeah, it was like 13.5% pick rate too.
I feel like people just get so bored of playing that hero, but like he's actually MMR.
Bro, you don't get sick of winning. I can't, like, that's the one thing I'm like, you don't get sick of winning.
Why do you think people picked Pudge? He was the most picked hero all the time.
You're a spammer.
Even when he was bad.
Well, see, you are a spammer. People like me, and I think Naya is the same way. Like, I can't stand playing the same hero like more than 3 times in a row. Can't fucking stand it. Like I've been playing Marcy a lot recently, but I have to change it. We do have to talk about her.
Are we not talking about Marcy yet?
What a stupid ass hero.
I didn't want to. It's stupid. I've said this since the hero came out. The numbers could be 0. It does not matter. Conceptually, the hero is broken as high hell.
The kit is just stupid.
Stun, control,
here's
damage,
ways that you know a hero is busted. First off, it is a 5-pick hero. Okay.
Totally. Absolutely.
Second off, when the build is the exact fucking same as for a position 4 as it is a position 3, like
better yet, position 5 is position 3.
In position 5. It's stupid. Like it literally is absolutely just busted. Like you have a fucking position 5 or 4 like going around and solo killing fucking heroes.
Like, solo killing cores.
A lot of supports.
Tanky cores.
A lot of supports they just can't handle it because any supports that have actual like control range, their cast range is usually horrible, so they have to get in close. Marcy is the only support where it's not a skill shot and it has incredible range as to where she's going to land, stun, and deal decent damage to it too as well on a short cooldown.
It's more than decent.
It's also just like you have to look at all the buffs she applies. Like she is the absolute, like she is the mobility hero. She has ridiculous mobility. She gives mobility to her allies, and she takes away mobility from enemies. Like everything about her, and
she provides damage.
She displaces.
She does everything.
She gives lifesteal. Like
yep.
She gives a BKB for.
I was gonna say she gives BKB. She's better than Omni-Knight in some ways. Like, goddamn.
It's like the old.
It's old Omni. It's old Repel.
No, it reminds me of.
There's an AoE silence. Like, dude, this hero's stupid. Oh my god.
Lifestealer. It reminds me of the old Lifestealer. Remember we had support Lifestealer for a patch?
Oh.
Yeah.
You just infest your teammates and you give, like, your Drow
1,000 health.
And 1,000 health.
And BKB.
It was so stupid. You played the whole game inside your hard carry. It was.
But then you just win. Like this is the hero I've probably been playing the most recently, and I just feel disgusting when I play it. Like it's just like I'm that fucking piece of shit that runs Viper off lanes, and I was like I ran Viper off lanes, but like I feel like it's less gross to play a Viper offlane than it is to play a fucking Marcy any position. Like that's the way that I feel. Is just this hero is such a fucking asshole. And
But
every time that I do like I make plays or like kill somebody, I'm like this is stupid. Like in League, we were playing against a Marcy in like a fat monkey kid alts. And she just stands in the alts, takes no damage, and like just solos the monkey.
Just fucking wails on him. Yeah, exactly.
What is this hero?
So, there's a Nick hero. Just saying, you think I cares I die? I don't die. Oh my god.
Literally don't die. Like you don't
Literally
die,
don't die.
Like
It's
you're about
actually
to die.
insane.
Okay, I'm just gonna leap the fuck out because that cooldown is ridiculous.
I'm curious on your thoughts on how do you feel about the dire advantage right now?
it depends on the game, but Fathermark did share a stat where how to put it, the camps are closer and the bounty rune is. So if you have a farmer in mid, dire is the side you want because it's also a bit harder to gank than Radiant side is.
Well, there on Pro Tracker, the win rate for Phantom Lancer is 10.6% better on Dire as it is to Radiant. He's a 46% win rate on Radiant and a 57% win rate on Dire. And Terrorblade has like a 7% difference between Radiant and Dire. So like illusion heroes and heroes that farm multiple camps at once are clearly doing much better. And Naga's the same, but she's just really strong.
I was gonna say, Naga farms both sides of the map, no matter what side she's on.
Well, no, the thing about Naga right now is she just can stall game zones so well. That she can usually just outlast the other team. They can't end fast enough, and she just gets really big. But like clearly, heroes that like to farm are drastically doing better on Dota. Like I would say they're unpickable on Radiant. You have to approach the game differently and consider picks you wouldn't have considered.
It's interesting to me that it's specifically illusion heroes, though. Like I'm interested to see what it is.
Well, no, it's not. I mean, generally, everyone has a better win rate on Dire. Like it's just unanimously across the board.
Oh, that's true.
Fudge for some reason. But theirs is like substantial, right?
Well, that's because Pudge loses in every game anyway, so it evens it out.
You can't say that. The man is like the most picked hero and still has like a 50% win rate.
He's always the most picked hero.
I know, but he has a 50% win rate now. That's the difference.
He's been at that for a while. I don't know. Like
Pudge was better before. He's worse now.
Yeah.
Fair.
Like
God, I can't.
I mean, Dire's just, it's weird, right? Because a year ago we had this conversation. And you're like, oh, Radiant's always the better side. Like it just always has been for the longest time. Like just the Roche control and all that stuff. Like entry points. Like it's easier to gank. Well, I've always thought it's been easier to gank the Radiant side than Dire, but like it's always been Radiant favored by like 6%. And now it's just completely switched. Remember the regional qualifiers were like ridiculously split.
Skewed, yeah.
Yeah. I'm trying to pull up the actual statistics on that. Here we are. It was a 57.2% win rate on Dire and a 42.8% win rate on Radiant.
What?
Yeah. Like busted. And a lot of that was like really seen, I think, in the Chen. The Chen on Radiant was a 50%. It was 67.74% win rate on Dire.
Yeah.
And like there's multiple heroes that are like super skewed in that fashion. Pangolier, 71.43% win rate on Dire, 42.31% on Radiant. Like Undying, 64% on Dire and 38.71 on Radiant.
That's ridiculous.
As a carry player, and any other carry players will know this, the worst part about Radiant is the natural position of the creep wave. It is absolute ass. The creeps meet right at the edge of your tower, and the offlaner's like, oh, I'm just going to drag your creeps to my range creep, and his creeps kamikaze under your tower towards your range creep. and then the lane's constantly shoving.
Oh,
It's
it was
so
great.
fast.
You lose equilibrium immediately.
Right away. Yeah.
Immediately.
And so what you try to do is like, okay, now I have to pull his creeps to his range creep. It's still gonna push, but it'll push slower. But if you do that, and the enemy team's ready for you to do that, you just take a shit ton of damage, and the lane pushes regardless. It's
Oh, love it.
the Radiant safe lane. The Radiant safe lane is if you're
As an offlaner now, I love it.
If you lose in a dire off lane, you should probably just switch positions because you're bad. Sorry, I just had to rant.
Fair enough.
I mean, there was a season, I think it was season 29, where we only played Dire once. And we just picked Radiant every single season.
Oh, Radiant was so fun.
Like, all we did was pick Radiant. And we just dumpstered everything. And it was just like, but yeah, I agree. Like, Dire is literally skewed from, like, the fucking horn. Like, it's automatically Dire favored. Like, you know what I mean? Like, even, like, trying to go up as Radiant, like, you have to take one route to go up to contest that rune now. Like, if you go through that fucking tunnel, like, you just die.
It's terrible. It's from the horn, it's so bad if you try to run through that tunnel to contest, you'll die. And it was for Dire to contest Roche harder because they're not right on the high ground all the way to the pit, but it still hasn't done that much to change things from anecdotally.
Naya, what are you seeing in your pubs right now?
A lot of crybabies, a lot of people who complain.
Meta-wise,
Nothing different there, dude.
Yeah, that. The only difference is now they're crying in a different language.
True.
True.
True. It's been interesting though, because it's like it's fun when you see the pros like pick these weird picks, like Thompson did it with his mid Omni Knight, and you're just like, oh, I'm gonna try this out.
What a dick!
You see him beat the crap out of the guy he's laying against, but it's like, guys, like he's a pro
Thompson.
player. He knows what he's doing.
It's Thompson. He can do whatever the fuck he wants.
I mean, Thompson can play anything mid. That's the problem that people compare to, is that they think Thompson exactly that. They think like, oh, Thompson's exposing the new meta, and it's like, no, he's not, dude. That man will just win on anything, and it doesn't matter. He'll make it.
I was doing content a couple weeks ago, and I mentioned somebody picking this Omni mid and how shit it was, and they go, "No, it's a real thing. Thompson ran at mid." Like, dude, it's Thompson. Like, come on. Like,
Okay.
You're gonna compare your freaking like 3K ass to like
to the highest
to
MMR player, yeah.
Yeah, and like a fucking 2-time TI winner. Like, come on. Like, eventually you have to, like, if you want to like maybe experiment with this and have some fun in pubs, whatever. But like, first off,
if you think it's viable in ranked, you're so dead wrong.
Like, League's a different thing. You have somebody that drafts against you for one. Spoiler alert. But like, there has to be a reason to pick this fucking hero mid. And to me, it's like, oh, I saw Thompson do it. That's cool. I'm gonna try it. Now you're gonna put it in a like position it really doesn't fucking belong, and like take it away from the fucking position that just auto wins you in Mar usually. Like, why? Why?
For me, it's always been really big when people see something or say something like that. Again, it's my why is a little different. It's like, why are they doing it though? Like,
yeah, that's the question you always have to ask.
Why is he picking Omni Knight mid?
What's his matchup?
What is he trying to accomplish?
Right.
Like, what is
does it work?
What is his goal? Like, why didn't he just pick Void Spirit? Like, clearly there's a reason he's like, Omni Knight will work here. It does this. It focus like. He didn't just, I mean, maybe he just fucking hit random. I know he didn't because he played it a few times and it was something he was working on. But I hate when people just see someone pick something, they put no thought process into why he did it, like what it was accomplishing, and then they're just like, well, I saw a pro. I don't give a fuck, dude. Pick Juggernaut, sit the fuck down, shut the hell up.
Has he run it
You're
on
so
T1?
fucking stupid.
Stay in your fucking lane, both literally
Honestly.
and figuratively.
Has he played it on T1?
No.
Not that I've seen.
I've only thing I've been seeing him with on T1 has been Morphling.
Well, then what the fuck's the point? Like, here's the thing: is like, okay, it's doing well in my pubs, but it's not going into like his league games and shit like that. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like, there's a reason for that because it's probably not fucking good. You're just better. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. It's the same thing. Like, you'll see weird shit sometimes too in pubs, and a lot of the times it's like, oh, I roll queued and I got this position that I don't play, so I'm gonna play a hero I know how to play in this position, and then hopefully it works out. Like, Naya, you run Phoenix mid all the time. You're not a mid laner, but you make the Phoenix mid work because you're a good Phoenix player, right? Like,
Precisely.
yeah, and that's the things like you gotta think about sometimes too. Like, sometimes people run this weird shit and it looks good, but maybe they're not like it's working because they're just like they're good at the hero. You know what I mean? Like, you can arguably run any hero like in any position if you're fucking dominant in it. You know,
Tails
it
quote,
doesn't mean
anything
that's
works.
good,
He did run an Omni Knight.
but
NT1, he did run Omni Knight.
oh, did he really?
So let's bring
Well,
it
they win or
back to
lose.
the. I want to bring it back to the meta real quick. By the way,
Oh no, it wasn't him. Never mind.
can we talk about Shadow Fiend? I've never seen Shadow Fiend picked more than I have this patch, which I think is amazing.
Bullshit.
Dude, I have never seen Shadow Fiend
Fuck
picked
you,
this
you
much.
haven't seen it picked more. You're fucking...
Explain to me. No, explain to me. Okay, fine then. Explain to me. Explain to me how it is that Shadow Fiend, who usually relies on small camps, is being picked so often. Is it literally just because but better in the mid lane? Is that what it is?
Carry. He's being played carry.
Really?
One, he's carry. And two, back when old Shadow Fiend mid was busted as all hell and it just ran around with a Shadow Blade killing everything, that was the worst time.
That's because you were in Legend and nobody knew what the item Dust was. And you could buy a Shadow Blade and get away with anything, dude.
Bro, that hero was so busted. So busted, he was in every fucking game. He was 100% picked more. I've only seen like 4 Shadow Fiends in my last 60 games.
I just want to say I have not seen a
Arguably,
single
like,
Shadow
2
Fiend
weeks.
this patch, so I don't know what you're talking about.
You've seen Shadow Fiend in your league games?
Yeah, that's right, dude. I ain't seen him. I ain't seen him, dog.
I mean, he's got a fair point, honestly, when it comes to the.
What you saying,
Well, that's a fun thing about like difference between like the pubs and competitive is pubs. It's like everybody tries to follow the meta, while in competitive, each game is its own meta because it's 2 teams now trying to strategize against each other.
See, now
I'm gonna disagree respectfully here. You're in a very try-hard bracket. Usually try-hard bracket.
That's true. That's true. Yeah.
Like, at least like when they queue for the game, they have the intention to like win the game and win MMR. And like when they're picking, usually that's the case. Now, 30 seconds into the game in your bracket, that may change.
I think
Always changes.
That may change. But like in my bracket, okay, it's like I want to play this hero because I want to play the hero. Like, it's like there's no intention behind it of I want to win MMR. There's no like intention of anything else. It's like I pre-select this hero. I'm gonna last pick this hero that I'm gonna pick no matter what. Like, don't care if it's encounters or anything. And then we're gonna pick it. Or like I'm gonna pick sniper mid first pick. Like shit like that. Like there's no rhyme or reason.
He's first pick worthy.
There's not. Shut the fuck up. Because I've seen this in at least 4 games in Challenger League this season where people are like 5, 6, or 7ing like a fucking sniper. I shit you not.
Sniper 4, baby, we're back.
It's not though. It's a fucking carrier mid.
God damn it.
Like, there's no like I'm trying hard to win MMR. It's I want to play this hero because I want to play the hero. Like, it's very different. But I agree. If like you want to win MMR, and especially like Naya's bracket, like it's a lot of like this hero's meta. It's very different than League. Especially like the way you draft Naya is like so different than like I'm gonna pick meta heroes and shit. Like your fucking drafts are wonky as shit.
Well, that's because I have a plan on making it work. It's like I like something that Gambit really did say though too as well.
Which is?
Yeah, you gonna share?
Sorry, one second. I was trying to kill a silencer before I got a silence assault.
You're playing a game?
Yeah, in the middle of this.
Efficiency.
Oh gosh, efficiency.
But it's because of the. Gambit mentioned in the video that Spyro did about reverse sweep about how he notices that I like to play a lot with myself, like
wording,
draft around myself.
Yeah,
And
watch your wording, man.
No, this is a show for minors, all right?
Watch your
AD2L
minds,
watches
guys.
this.
Like, get them out of the gutter. But honestly, it's like in that emotional damage season, we had the Herbie, who I just picked as strong heroes. I wanted him to win his lane, and so it wasn't any strategy or anything like that, but rather
sounds like picking Welsh's heroes for pot of green.
Yeah.
You only got. They're gonna ban 2. You got 1 left. You're playing this.
That's fine by me, dude. You can't stop me.
I do agree with some of the stuff Naya was saying of like how it's kind of the mini meta of the two teams. But I don't fully agree with it because sometimes you're literally just drafting for yourself and whatever the enemy team almost does, it's irrelevant because you're like, we're going to do this and these are the problems. So I'm just going to ban out these problems. And like, I honestly barely have to, like, you do adjust, but you barely have to adjust to like what the enemy team's doing because your strat's so, like when we ran Omni Knight carry wasn't a fucking thing. Nobody was playing Omni Knight and Pro Tracker dumpstering kids position 1.
That was one of my favorite strats of all time to watch.
But like, it fucked nonetheless, and it fucked everybody.
There is definitely something about like each series has a mini meta. Like I remember the season 28 finals against Kobolds, where it was like whoever got first pick Lich won. There's been a couple where teams are like 5 picking lone druids and visages in Challenger League right now, but it's because both teams play it to like a really high really high level, and whoever gets this is probably going to win because there's other shit that you have to ban. You know what I mean? Yep. Like there is truth to that, and there's also truth to like, well, this is what we do. We're gonna fucking run it. Stop us. Which is kind of what like Greed has done in the past when we were good. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
we just like, oh, you left fucking Brewmaster in the pool, you lose. Doesn't matter what else we fucking pick.
Like drafting for your team, you know?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And then once they show that, you know, they can break it, that's when the meta of the match starts to develop.
I just like to say that I feel like we're hitting the point of just kind of saying at this point that there's a bell curve how much meta matters. The bell curve is your MMR. The dog shit MMR tier, meta doesn't matter. You pick whatever the shit you want. Like on Wraith King offlane, you just pick it and send it, dude. And then when you get up to like Immortal bracket, Wraith King offlane, you pick it and send it, dude.
Yeah, when you get to the top, it's I'll just fucking random and run it, you know,
and win.
Yeah, like if you're Koifa, yeah, you just fucking random and whatever happens, man, it's gonna happen.
I remember listening to Thompson talk the other day, and he was like, "Yeah, I've been matching against Ana like exclusively lately, and we're always on the opposite team. In every single game, we just both random, and then we just go at each other trying to kill each other."
That's literally every time I've ever played Ben.
Every time you play Ben, you go fucking laning goes out the door.
Laning goes out the door. It's all about killing each other. There's no hitting creeps. It's just trading.
If there's 8 last hits in the whole lane, I'd be fucking impressed, right? Because your time is spent eating tangos, hitting heroes, or running away and salving. That is it. That is the lane. You are hitting heroes or regenning.
It's so true,
There's no
dude.
in between. There are no creeps being hit because both of you have 6 HP or you're fucking dead.
Oh, laning against you is so much
calm
fun.
down, Smoking.
No, laning
okay.
against
right,
Ben
it's fun.
is just the best. It's the best. It's like playing dark and darker.
There's so many lanes I remember playing with Ben where it's just like, oh, we just dumpstered this lane, and then like Dota Buff will give us a draw, and I'm like, what the fuck? Why? and I realized Ben only had 8 last hits the entire laning stage.
You're goddamn right, but the morale game was
We
won.
might have killed him 3 times, but he had like 30 last hits where Ben had 8.
Well, that's what's amazing about the game of Dota, dude, is that like you can. I mean, this is something we realized way back is that we would only be 1K, 2K up, but Lord no, we felt like we were like 10K up. You know what I mean? And the enemy team felt that way too because they knew they just felt like they were losing.
Fucking animals, just overwhelmed teams.
It's just exactly that. They can have the same goal, but they don't feel like it. They feel oppressed.
We're gonna farm an item. I just need this BKB. Oh fuck, they're here again. Like that's honestly like, I mean, that's my favorite style of Dota is just literally run at people, be in their fucking face. Like you hit a timing,
put a vice on them.
Stretch that timing out as far as you possibly fucking can. But I think that's about time, fellas. So we're gonna go ahead and wrap it up. Thank you guys for tuning in to episode 24 of Dose of Sinsanity, joined by Naya.
Yeah, thanks for joining us, Naya. It was a good time talking to you, man.
Thank you for inviting me. I've always top.
Hope you win your game, man.
It's not gonna happen, that's for sure.
Are you gonna listen to this podcast?
Yeah, are you gonna listen?
I actually want to listen because I want to make sure the sound system is working right, so I can hear my lovely voice. That's all I gotta say.
I don't know. Our audio guy.
From our local audio guy, you got a good microphone, dog. I appreciate it.
Local audio guy is a bum. Anyways, we're signing off. Thank you guys for tuning in, and see you guys next time.
Later.
Bye.